couple of set of a balanced table. Two from the private sector, two from the public sector this side. So when those two spoke in Spanish, I thought my friend Humberto will speak in Portuguese and I can follow him in Portuguese. But since he spoke in English, so to keep up the balance, let me also speak in English. Uruguay as the venue for this first Latin American Outsourcing Summit is an interesting coincidence from the Indian point of view, because it was in Uruguay that the first Indian outsourcing center was set up. It was successful and it was replicated across the region. But when this idea was put before the board of the Tata Consultancy Services at that time, the board was puzzled. They were baffled. They said, Uruguay? They didn't hear much about Uruguay at that time. But there was a Uruguayan gentleman who managed to sell Uruguay to the TCS board, saying that it is the hottest, sexiest, and the most irresistible place in Latin America. And the TCS bought it. So, we started with our first outsourcing center here. It became successful across Latin America. Now, in this process, there was synergy. The entry of TCS in a big way in Uruguay helped Uruguay to find a place in the global map of IT and outsourcing. And Uruguay, in turn, helped TCS to get a place in the map of Latin America. And that is synergy. That is win-win. And this Uruguayan gentleman, about whom I wrote a blog called Uruguayan Wizard, he is here, Mr. Gabriel Rosman. Let's give a big hand to him. So in our language, he is the guru for Indian outsourcing in Latin America. Thank you, President. There are 24 Indian companies in this sector in Latin America. They are in the entire spectrum of IT services, BPO, KPO, call centers, and IT training. 3 of our companies are KPOs: Irevna, Copal Partners, and eValueServe. TCS, of course, has the largest presence in the region, with 8,000 people in 8 countries. The second largest is a company called Aegis, A-E-G-I-S, which is part of an Indian multi-billion-dollar group called SR Group. They have got 5,500 Latin American staff. They have 5,000 staff in Argentina. This is the largest Indian BPO in Latin America. And they have another 500 in Costa Rica. Apart from these two, you might have heard of the other 2 Indian IT giants, Infosys and Wipro. But they have a limited presence, restricted only to 2 countries, Brazil and Mexico. The Indian companies are present in 14 out of the 19 Latin American countries. They are present in, of course, the top 3 markets: Brazil, Mexico, and Argentina. Then they are present in 5 Central American countries: Costa Rica, Guatemala, Panama, Nicaragua, and Dominican Republic. And in South America, apart from Argentina and Brazil, they are in Uruguay, Chile, Peru, Colombia, and Ecuador. Before I talk about the synergy, I would like to touch this point about the reaction, at least in Argentina, to the presence of Indian IT and out. I met the software association, the big and small, but they gave me a very cold reception. They had some reservations, some apprehensions and hesitation about the entry of Indian IT companies. They thought the Indian companies would come and take over the market here. I told them the market is too big, the big pie. There is a share for India, Latin America, Philippines and many others. And moreover, there is this synergy where the Latin Americans, as Gabriel said, the complementarity, they can achieve more. I give you a small example. There was a small mobile software company in Buenos Aires which was bought over by an Indian company called Celent. And the Argentine company was thrilled being part of this Celent, because now as part of this Celent, this mobile software company of Argentina, they have access to the large market of 600 million cell phone subscribers in India.